competition. They are classrooms for growth, canvases for ambition, and a celebration of the beautiful games and yielding spirit. For Lesotho, the young warriors carry the pride of the mountain kingdom. They've yet to secure a point, but their campaign has been one of resilience, playing with the kind of courage that builds characters and strengthens futures. For Malawi, the young flames have flickered brightly, their 2 draws offering moments of hope and aspiration. Today they seek more than just a spark. They aim to fan the flames into a full blaze, knowing that with a win, the fortunes of the group could bend in their favor. 2 draws, they'll feel that. They'll watch some of the games that are taking place at the AW Muller Stadium, but for them, it's about the job here and now in Lesotho. So, like I said, these games are more than competition. They are classrooms for growth, canvases for ambition, and a celebration of the beautiful game's unyielding spirit in this region. COSAFA is where nations invest in tomorrow, nurturing talent and planting the seeds of future glory. We'll be moving really steady with the program. Match 13 out of a match card that consists out of 20 games. By the end of today, we'll have Group A decided, done and dusted. The other Group A kickoff sees Mozambique take on Angola. Both teams on 4 points out at the AW Muller Stadium. And one of them will win the group, while one of the other losers, they may have Malawi leapfrog them and finished in 2nd place. Just a reminder to you about how the qualification works then for this COSAFA U17 championship. Is that to qualify for the semi-finals, it's the top team and the best 2nd place team. So for Malawi, that's that 2nd best prize that they will be looking for. Flag bearers come out carrying the flags of the respective nations that symbolize the pride, the unity, and the history that is embedded within the COSAFA footballing region. 2 teams with bounds and bounds of hopes and aspirations converge upon a place where dreams are forged here at the University
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the national
campus.
teams of Malawi and Lesotho.
So as the CAF anthem fills the air, the players walk out united under their shared banner of possibility. This is development football, a stage where victories are measured not just in goals, but in the lessons, confidence gained, and dreams realized. For these young athletes, the journey is just beginning. But it's one that will echo far beyond these 90 minutes. Today they play not just for the results, but for their nations, their futures, and the sheer love of the game. Malawi take on Lesotho in match 13 of the COSAFA Championship. For now, let's go down to the national anthem of Malawi.
And now, the national anthem of Lesotho.
The anthems have been sung and the players stand ready, young shoulders bearing the weight of their nation's hope. This moment, however fleeting, holds a significance that reaches beyond a scoreboard. So for coach Enosh Chatama, it's almost an identical team to the one that he started these under-17 COSAFA qualifiers with, all but Geoffrey Chinyama getting his first start of the competition. So does Joseph Mataka. Otherwise, it remains the same in a 4-3-3 formation. Simplex Kachikwe started the last game. He is relegated to the bench. Lesotho, it's all about gaining confidence, about improving and taking the many lessons that can be learned in a tournament just like this. Well, and for the head coach, Mr. Sidwell Moteya, he's taken the many lessons and he's adopted them in the many changes that he's made today. He's stuck with the 4-3-3 formation that consists of Lipane, Mokai, Ketsi, Matsidela, Manatamela, Kalache, Hlongwe, and all the like. Referee then Norris Arisol from the Seychelles takes charge of this one, assisted by Doris Chenset, Warren Mulenga and Wilson Muyingwa. Referees have done a stellar job of officiating these games. I haven't seen all too many complaints via the officiating. It's been largely good, and for a continental showpiece like this, it's got to be good. But for Malawi and Lesotho, this becomes more than just a match. It's a stage where dreams take shape and futures are forged. The players, many still at the dawn of their journeys, are here to learn, to grow and to represent the boundless potential of Southern African football. They've sung for their countries and now they will play with pride and purpose. Enosh Tatama, one of the development coaches of the season, sits on the bench and hopes that the youngsters will implement the tactics that they've worked on yesterday. Sidwell Moteya formerly was an assistant coach for the under-20 teams. He takes charge of the under-17s, and he says the mission is to think beyond these COSAFA championships and to really ignite a love for a passion for the game, and for the youngsters to play with a willingness and without any fear. So the crowd awaits, the whistle looms, and the story of today's game is about to unfold. We've seen really some extravagant moments in these qualifiers for the Under-17 Total Energies Cup of Nations, set to take place in Ivory Coast next year. All 12 nations converged upon Johannesburg with one goal in mind. But at the end of the 10-day extravaganza, at the end of the 10-day odyssey, it will only be two teams that have a ticket, a golden ticket to the Ivory Coast. Hot day out in Johannesburg today. So the sun and the conditions definitely will add and scorch to the conditions for the youngsters on the pitch. So referee waits exactly for the 1500 kickoff. The other 1500 kickoff on COSAFA and CAF TV, as well as the FIFA platforms, is Mozambique and Angola, and that's taking place at the UJAW Muller Stadium. So a double header today. Usually we've got a 12 kickoff and a 1500 kickoff. Today just the two games in Johannesburg, one in Pimville, Soweto, and the other in Auckland Park. Now it looks in the group. At the moment, you've really got a group that could still shift and take shape. Angola are right at the top at the moment, 4 points. Mozambique also on 4. But how we know that it works in typical COSAFA style, it's head-to-head that's going to count and not the goal difference. So that game will definitely shape how the rest of the group may work. But for Malawi, they know that fate will be in their own hands somewhat, and then somewhat they'll have to rely and hope that results elsewhere favor them. From a Malawi perspective, you probably want for Mozambique to lose and for Angola to win, because they were able to get the draw against Mozambique, and so the head-to-head, if it goes down to there, they'll be able to finish second in the group and perhaps get a place in a semi-final. Lesotho in green, Malawi in red. For Lesotho, heartbreak in the game against Mozambique back on Friday. Mozambique scoring in the very 90th minute of the game after the Lesotho side was able to play some decent football, missed a couple of chances, but a draw was a tough result to take home for Sidwell Motea's men. But this is development football, and sometimes the lessons go beyond the scoreboard, and when you speak to Sidwell Motea, he's happy for his team to get the type of experience and exposure that comes with playing in a continental showpiece like this. The youngsters can only grow and be in good stead for their future after this. Interestingly, for Lesotho, every single one of the players that traveled to South Africa for the showpiece this year have never played any sort of international competition. This is their first national caps for the kids. So with that, Sidwell Motea has identified that sometimes the kids have played with a little bit of fear in their game. Some imposter syndrome sometimes. You're bound to feel a little bit of imposter syndrome when you're a youngster playing for the first time. You feel that you don't deserve to be at this grand stage. And when it's only 3 group games, you only really can feel imposter syndrome for 10 minutes and then you need to get on with it. So these youngsters would have learned those lessons and will be better off because of them. We've seen them improve and develop even in some of the games. I remember back when we opened up this competition last week, Wednesday, they opened up their campaign against the Angolans. Angolans were leading 2-0. Lesotho scored in minute 85, and then it was a totally different game, although Angola was able to hold on. So even those moments in the game, you commend interdevelopmental in the game. Cut out that by Morena Mashitela. Now Lesotho bringing it forward. It's still available here for Nkoko Ritabile. Just no real takers in that box for that one. For Malawi, so far their campaign has yielded 2 draws, 2 points. So they're 2 behind the leaders. The win here takes them to 5, and have to pray and hope that things elsewhere go their way. As we see a foul early on by Geoffrey Chinyama, one of the players to arrive late at this competition. I think he arrived for the second game for Malawi. Direct eye line for goal. Cleared away. It's going to be a contest this between jersey 6, Lekanya Kalache, able to shepherd the ball out. Spy 2 there. Lesotho growing in that confidence I was telling you about. There's a bit of a contrast in the 2 teams back home in terms of how their development football functions. In Lesotho, the club and academy scene not as established as your South African development leagues, as your Zambian and Zimbabwean development leagues. Very similar to Eswatini. Another set piece for Sidwell Motea's men, right on the chalk of that box. Francis Nzema with the foul there. Tell you what, I've had the privy of commentating some really beautiful free kicks. One from James Lumbe, playing in this Malawian team, equalized against Angola. And then another yesterday here at the UJ Soweto Stadium, scored by a youngster called Valentine Macheka. Now it's Tuto Ketsi over it. He's going to look for that curve and that far post. Tell you what, James Lumbe will have some bit of deja vu from his that he scored at the A.W. Muller Stadium. Gets in! Oh, it's creeped in! What a beautiful free kick! It's free kick number 3! It's free kick extravaganza here at the UJ Soweto Stadium. And Tuto Getsi, well, he knows how to take a dead ball. The man from Kick for Life FC. Well, he knows how to kick for his life. The goalkeeper, in truth, doesn't deal with it as best as he could. I have a lucky charm for getting good free kicks. It's the third one I've been able to see. It's the third one of the competition as well, too. Lesotho lead for the very first time in the Under-17 COSAFA Championships in 2024. Now that is what I mean when I say development football. Seeing your team improve and play with confidence, without fear. About imposter syndrome. They know they belong to be here. So they need to, they're certainly starting to play like they know their worth and that they are worthy of playing at this stage. Malawi, onus on them now to respond as Francis Alfanzema scoops it upfield. So early on here then, Malawi, this is not the type of a start that they would have envisioned. On the other field, the ladies from Lesotho are taking on Mozambique. I'm sure you'll hear them second half come through here and start singing beautifully. I support the older men's team. Alfanzema, the 14-year-old. Tuto. Sitoto. Still Lesotho on the ball now here. I'm sure the coach would be very pleased with how the performance of his players has definitely gotten better. I feel this year they've had a decent run in Lesotho. Sometimes football is a game where you've got to take your opportunities. That's something that every single one of the 12 teams and over 150 footballers playing here will know and learn that in the pro setup and in any continental competition, sometimes it only takes one chance, one take, one goal to do the business. A couple of COSAFA finals have been decided by one goal. Some of them had to go all the way to a penalty shootout. Remember the most recent one held in South Africa back in 2020. Yielded a penalty shootout between the Copper Bullets and Amajimbos. Malawi, here they come. I've seen them in this type of position then more than once. They're more than capable of responding against Angola. There's James Lumbe to respond. Against Mozambique, it was Clifford Chisale to score the equalizer. So that's something that perhaps the Malawans would have worked on in their off day, conceding first. They've got the mentality to come back. Clifford Chisale equalized in minute 85 against Angola. Lumbe scored a breathtaking free kick against the side that they played last, Mozambique. But yes, the development football in Lesotho, very schools orientated, I'm told, but there are plans in place in Lesotho starting in 2025 to establish a proper development league like your other southern African countries have. So what they're planning is to have an under 13, under 15 and under 17 development league to have the pool of players playing regularly and just to increase their technical ability. When I chatted to Sidwell Motea, he had lots of words of admiration for the South Africans and Bela Kumalo. He says technically is second to none. And that technical ability is established by playing football week in, week out. Turns his man inside out there, still on his feet now. Chisale is in the box. It's going to fall here for jersey 2, Lesile Mokai. Lekanya Kalache. Tutu, the goal scorer, sends it to Morena. Free-flowing football by the Lesotho team, although that's gone out of the parameters of the pitch. For Malawi, they do have an established development league. It's called the First Capital Bank Under-19 League, but that's for Under-19s, and these guys are 16, 15, 14 years old. They'll play in that First Capital Bank League. Some of them maybe next year and in years to come. Here's Clifford Chisale. Hits the bar, doesn't go in. Referee checks the linesman and they say no. Clifford Chisale denied his second goal by the woodwork. It opened up ever so slightly and Chisale does everything right there. Tuto. Morena. Back to Tuto, making the run now. Lesotho opening them up. Overruns it, Kosana. Manamatela. And this is that previous attempt. Chisale is on. Oh, that's a goal. Oh, that's a goal. That's crossed the line. Malawans won't be happy to watch that slow-mo again, because when you watch it in slow motion, you see that the ball crosses the line. And such a player goes down in the box. Here is Geoffrey. Such a player back up on his feet. Exciting game, end-to-end stuff here, blow for blow. Two heavyweight fighters in a ring, gloves off, and going for each other. Just want to see that slow-mo again. Chisale carries on the high press, first touch for the goalie. Molei didn't play the other game, he gets a start today. The man of Molibeli Wanderers. He's played lots and lots of time, the jersey 6 and captain for Malawi. It's been a regular feature for Enos Chatama. Morena. Bring it back is Sachena. Chisale runs onto it here. The dangerous striker. Dead ball. Okay, so this is the one that I've been crying to see. Look at it. Slow it down and look at the ball. Look at the ball. Ooh. Yep, it's a development football, but that's a goal. That's a goal. Don't dwell on it too much. The referees, just like the kids, are themselves developing, and without video assistant referee, they only have the opportunity to see it once. Unlike us with the television, we've got the slow-mo and the replays. You can play it over and over. Quarter of an hour. The game has a good tempo. Oh, Tuto positive to the outside of his foot. That's the type of confidence that the coach has been wanting the team to play with. Lekanya Kalache. Before the days of video assistant referee, we would have carried on, so we will do here. In fact, no development league in Africa has that yet. Although I saw that they did have video assistant referee at the under-20 COSAFA championships, as Chisale runs on to it here. I think perhaps by the time we get to the semis and finals, maybe when there's things such as AFCON qualification at stake, Cup of Nations qualification. Retabile. Nice triangular football that by the Malawans. Geoffrey Timnyama. So I'm told that we will have video assistant referees from the semi-finals indeed. Makes sense when the stakes are high. The stakes are as high in this game too, as Retabile takes it on. Tuto really teaching and educating the boys in that midfield, like his name suggests. Sun being covered by the clouds a bit here makes for slightly cooler conditions here for the youngsters. So Malawi, I was telling you about that first Capital Bank under-19 league that they have. They've also got an under-16 and under-14 league then, which many of these guys on show play in. It's called the Farm under-16 and under-14 league. So the development there is a tad more established than Lesotho, as Clifford Chisale, 1 goal so far, and Ndunga tries to ding it up. Although there was James Lumbe. The tournament has seen lots and lots of goals so far. I think when we ended the day yesterday, we had about 30 plus goals scored in this continental showpiece. We're sitting at an average of about 3.25 goals per game yesterday. But give it a check. I think it's may have slightly increased after Zambia ran rampant, scoring 5 against Zimbabwe. That's a good skip by Morena. Masitela still going, although he slightly overruns that. If he wants it, the throw-in taken where the ball went out, and so he insists for Tole Sajenjab to go slightly back. Here's the skipper and the captain, Mofat Mnyoto. Lumbe sees the run of Yusuf Nantunga. Jesus Kid also has some football talent on him. Just can't find a pass here. Madula. Now counter-attack. Retabile pizza man. Now he's through behind Lesotho. Oh, he's missed it. He's done everything right there, but the finish. Everything good except for the final touch from Uritabile. Ngoko of Matanja FC in Lesotho. He's played 2 full games, and there he clips it over the goalie. He beats the defender with such skill, good physicality to push the defender out the way. I like this game. It's got that intensity that we want in a footballing game. Good touch that to Morena. And he stays down. The referee waves play to go on. Nantunga. Madula. Chuchisale. There's space for Sachena. The referee's given a free kick there to Malawi. They've had about 2 weeks in camp. They have the Malawans. Francis Alfanzema hits the ground. Born in 2010, Alfanzema. The player on the ground at the moment on the 5th of September. So turned 14 just a couple of months ago now. Tad soft to the foul. But look who's on it. It's Lumbe. Was it Nantunga? Where's Lumbe? No, it's Nantunga that fancies his chances on this left side of the pitch. We've seen already 1 free kick here today. Is there perhaps another one in store on the cards? He's going to need to curl it towards that near post, or perhaps he's got the far post in mind. Lots of options that I'm sure are going through the young man's head of Ascent Soccer. One of the players to play 2 full games. Nantunga pens it. There's lots of men in the box. Oh, it's a good ball to bring it down. That's a nice touch by the Lesotho man, Lesile Makai. So we'll come back here tomorrow to conclude some of the other group games. Have a break on Tuesday and then begin with semi-finals on Wednesday, where the winner of Group B will play the winner of Group C. So Group B has got your Zambia, Zimbabwe, Namibia and Eswatini. And then your Group C is where you've got South Africa, Botswana, the Comoros and Mauritius. So these guys are in Group A. Group A is going to play the winner of Group A plays the best second place team of all the 3 groups. And the way it's looking, it may just happen that the winner of Group A plays the second place team in Group A. If that's how it works, there's still Zimbabwe who will be in action tomorrow and very interested to make the next round and play a semi-final. Saleh Sachenja. Mofat Mnyoto. That's really good work by James Lumbe. Look at that. Oh, what a stunner. Hits the bar. Goalkeeper was definitely beaten there. Well, the young Flames they've got that spark, but they want to ignite it into a fully blown flame. It should have been a flame, but that's a call A goal that was not allowed, but the spark is definitely there. Alfanzema. Nantunga. That's good work to dispossess. Here comes Ritabile. Ritabile has already beaten the defender. Once he beats him again, this is a good move, and he finishes it brilliantly. Lesotho score their second goal. Oh man, this kid is good. He's got the beating of a defender. He's got the skill that you need when you're a striker. And he's got the confidence that's been lacking.
Goal for Lesotho.
Goal for Ritabile. Ritabile Nkoko. Oh, again he leaves him in his wake, and Ritabile Nkoko brings some life to the pride of the Mountain Kingdom. 2-0 to Lesotho. The men from the mountains showing their quality here in Soweto, Pimville. 29 degrees Celsius. Here the conditions, and Malawi, they were ready for the restart, but Lesotho quickly take the water break. That's what he's saying now, coach. There's that, boys, this is what he wanted when he spoke to me, this type of confidence. And finally Lesotho are firing in the championship. That's what I love about development football so much. Coming into today, many would have thought that Malawi would have had the beating of Lesotho. They perhaps had played slightly better football in the two games, but anything and everything will often occur in a game of football. It has occurred.
Score update. Malawi 0, Lesotho 2.
So Coach Enosh Chatama could succumb to a group stage exit for the first time since 2019. Because definitely, if Malawi don't win this game, they're going home tomorrow. And Lesotho know that they're going home already, and that's why they're playing with so much confidence. They know they've got to play for the love of playing football, for the love of playing youth football. And knowing youth football, I've watched plenty of youth football. I know that this game is far from over. Malawi could easily get one back. In fact, the Malawans watching at home would think that they've been robbed and they should have one back. Chisale wins that one against Tuto. Nantunga can't get it beyond Likanya. Yo, Ritabile Nkoko is good. Yo, because it was once where he beat the defender, and he says it's so good I can do it twice. And twice is as nice. Too nice. Too Lesotho. Madula goes to Geoffrey, the man that arrived late to the camp. Now Yusuf, what does he do with it? Makes roads inward. And then Geoffrey keeps it alive to James Lumbe. Lumbe's going to go for the extravagant again, although this time he's slightly leaning back. And the other guys were asking for him to pass it, and that's what he's sort of trying to gauge. Says, hi there, gents. Half an hour in, it's a Lesotho party here in Johannesburg. A quarter of 1 hour remaining in the first stanza, but lots of football still to be played. How the championships have worked, as a matter of fact, in the past couple of games. You see lots and lots of goals in the last 5 minutes. In fact, I recall the game yesterday for the Zambians. They were 1-1 until 15 minutes remaining in the game. In fact, almost 10 minutes remaining, where they went up to score 4 goals against Zimbabwe. So I think this one is also still on the cards. I wouldn't rule it off just yet as a Lesotho success, although they're playing with so much confidence. Tuto, dispossessed by Tadala Mugogo. Here's Tadala Mugogo also of Essence Soccer, as alongside the man Madula, no, rather Nantunga. There's three guys that come from Essence Soccer in the side. It's Mugogo, it's Nantunga, as well as Gift Chibala, who's played a total of 68 minutes in this year's competition. Nantunga. Chisale keeps it alive to Geoffrey. Ngoko with the foul on the captain, Mofat Nyoto. One goal back and suddenly it feels a little bit more doable, the task for Malawi. They continue on the attack. This is Sachena. That type of delivery is not going to threaten Lesotho by the slightest of the word. For Malawi, their last 5 tournament finishes saw them finished in the group stage in 2018 and 2019. And then they sort of had a shift in fortune and more of 3 very good years coming back to the under-17 COSAFA championships. 4th place in 2020. And then they've got bronze medals in 21 and 22. The bronze seems a little bit out of sight this year. It's perhaps slipping away so slightly from Enosh Chadama, who's been in charge of the side for the past 2 years now. Geoffrey, a little bit individualistic there. He doesn't have any options and chooses to have it at goal. The young man. Yusuf Nantunga cuts that one out. Now they could hurt them. One more pass and it doesn't have enough on it, on the ball. Doesn't make the pass full as Mnyoto just to get the counter-attack again. Geoffrey lunges in and then fouls the Lesotho man. Oh, it looks like he takes a trip himself, does Geoffrey Chinyama. Players gone down on the pitch for Lesotho. Malawi already going to the substitute bench goes Enosh Chadama. In the meanwhile, there we see the man that was in charge formerly of the under-20s as an assistant coach get his words through. Says he learned good lessons while he was busy with the under-20s as a technical assistant. And now he's imparting the words of wisdom to these younger age groups, the younger cohorts. This is the future of Lesotho football that you're watching here. The idea is to have these kids succeed in the under-20 side, play in that team. Still telling you about the change that Malawi want to make. They want to bring on Chikondi Hoa of Namasala Soccer Academy. He's putting on his guards at the moment. You see him there. Dunga wants to play the ball on the ground now. Morena. So I think Malawi are going to take the opportunity to make the change then, right about now. Jersey 17, Chikondi Hua. He was one of two players to arrive late in South Africa, arrived on a bus on Friday, about early hours of Friday morning. The man of Namasala Soccer Academy, and he gets his first game time in the qualifiers. He arrived late because he had problems with his passports at the border, himself and Geoffrey Chinyama. So they arrived with some of the technical team. Morena. Nyoto wins it back for Malawi. Can the Young Flames get something back before the half break? It would definitely make the task a little bit more doable. Clifford Chisale sees the run of Nantunga. It's two of them up front, and it's intercepted well by the Lesotho man there, Sotso Lipane. Tuto wants to teach them how to step over, but Fana. Chinyama, his opposite number, says, I know how to step over and I know how to win it back from a step over. Morena. Now Hassan Madula. For Lesotho, they have never made it to the Cup of Nations or any global stage thereof. They're still working and developing, from what I hear. They're still really using your South African development program, your Zambian development program, your Malawian program, and the Angolan program as blueprints of how to do it. Good cutback by Mugogo. It remains Malawi ball. Can they work something with it here? It's cleared away by Lesotho. But for Lesotho, what I've liked then is that they've appeared in most of the under 17 COSAFA championships. They've been here regularly. Clifford Chisale makes himself available again. The boys want a hand, they won't get it. So Lesotho, they've been here a total of 8 times, which is good. It's one of the most teams that have played here. South Africa have a joint 11. Malawi are regular participants here. They've been here 11 times too. The Zambians just 10. They had one campaign where they were ineligible rather. And as we see, Koko. Lumbe wins it back. Chisale's in the box, but he's offside. It's one of the teams that have been here 4th most. Botswana have 9, just above them, appearances here at this competition. And you see it clear as daylight. Hassan Madula is the man that's on the end of that challenge. Madula of Ntacha United. 16 years young is Madula. And bursting with so much talent. You know what the thing is? You won't come to a showpiece like this if you're not talented. Almost all the players, all 150 plus of the, and then if you include the ladies, all 300 of the players that have converged upon Johannesburg have some footballing ability, because they had to get selected in their own nations, their own regions first. and then come and play up against the best of the best in Southern Africa. So I can confirm that every single player here is good. What sometimes happens is that some of the kids more shyer than others in the games, and then you see some of them really grow as the tournament progresses, grow in confidence. One or two have played before, but for Lesotho, it's a team completely new, consisting of just 2008s. So the tough thing about that then is that the kids won't be able to play the tournament again next year. As we see Chisale, oh, beautiful Chisale, beauty, beautiful. It's not Chisale, rather it's Lumbe. It's James Lumbe that scores his second here. He's got the footwork, he wants to start the charge back and the fight back. James Lumbe gets his second, and that was...
Malawi. There's number 18.
Yo, that was good. Beats in the players and then beats the goalie also. Good work to send the goalie on that other side. Box. Ah, what a box. And it's almost a half box because he doesn't box it with both feet. It's just puts it into space, and then it's an open net that he puts the ball into. 2-1. And that's what Inos Chadama would have wanted. Then now the Malawans will feel that this game for the taking, but it's been a golden thread of the Malawi competition, coming from behind, having to do it from the back. We're a couple of minutes away from our halftime interval. Hope it's been a good watch. I've enjoyed watching it here. 3 goals in the first half, 2 teams throwing the kitchen sink at one another, throwing everything at the game. Is a proper advert for COSAFA and Southern African football. Setoso. Cut out by Chisale. He's playing a much deeper role now, is Clifford. Ball threaded through, touch to Nandunga. Opens up his body and wants to cut inside. There is James Lumbe. Instead he finds Hassan Madula. Cut back by Lumbe, and Lumbe wants to play. Lumbe wants to jam of play football. It's ironic, that's the team that he plays for, play football. 1 goal so far for James Lumbe. Yeah, I know he plays football. He's the only player from play football. I'm sure all his teammates watching back home, proud of his display. Here's the captain, Manana Hojeng. Moleti. Hojeng plays it through to Skosana. Oh, it's a tough little battle that between Skosana Manatela as well as the captain of Malawi. Tutu wants to teach them again in the midfield, although there he himself is in a bit of 2 minds about what to do with the ball, and then he's eventually dispossessed. Hassan Madula to Nandunga. Lumbe's in space. There's lots and lots of room for Chikondi on the side. Now he's going to get the touch. Chikondi with Chikondi with the shot, and off targets from the Namasala Soccer Academy man. So our 4th official then, Wilson Muyangwe of Mozambique, says 3 additional minutes, 180 seconds to be added of stoppages. With the numbers in the World Cup and the 17 World Cup increasing as of next year. There's going to be more opportunities for your smaller nations, your non-footballing nations also to really shine. I think I remember it was in one World Cup. I think it must have been Russia, men's-wise then, big team-wise. When Iceland were really the standout team. So with the bigger format, it opens way for those nations. And I say that because with lots of talent development schemes on the up in Southern Africa, could have a couple of our countries go over and represent us at the World Showpiece. And that competition also, I know it's a World Cup, I know the stakes appear to be high, but at this level, what we're really focusing on is developing the youngsters. As we see Yusuf Nantunga, what a run by Nantunga. Tell you what, if they could score now, it would set us up quite significantly for the second period. Looked like that nicked off James Lumbe's hand, but play on anyway. Chinyama plays it through. Chisale won't get a shot. Now it's going to be Hassan Matula. He's offside, unfortunately, as identified by Dorcas Chanset. Many people then on the other side of the coin. I'm going to draw a correlation here between football and athletics, because there used to be a World Athletics Under-17 Championship, but World Athletics stopped that to not put pressure on the athletes. So some sporting codes seem to think that events like this have the impact of pressuring the athletes. In athletics, I understand they push the bodies of those athletes sometimes, but on the other side of the coin then too, there's the lessons that you learn, the friends that you make on the way, lifelong ones. Ball threaded through here. It's dealt with by Francis Malfanzema. No, rather, that's Joseph Mataka. Almost at half time then. Probably the last attack this from a Lesotho perspective. To the far stick, and that probably will be the first half done and dusted then. 3 goals in this game. It's really exciting. Opened the scoring was the youngster by the name of Tuto Ketsi, and then Ritabile Nkoko scored the second for Lesotho. It really felt like it was all doom and gloom for Malawi until James Lumbe took it upon himself to restore some of the flame of that of the young flames of Malawi. So that's how it ends then after 45 minutes. It's 2 Lesotho, 1 Malawi. These guys are 16, 15, 14 years old. They'll play in that first Capital Bank League. Some of them maybe next year and in years to come. Here's Clifford Chisale. It's the ball, doesn't go in. Referee takes the linesman and they say no. Okay, so this is the one that I've been crying to see. Look at it. Slow it down and look at the ball. Look at the ball. Ooh. Yep, it's a development football, but that's a goal. Alfanzema. Nantunga. That's good work to dispossess. Here comes Ritabile. Ritabile has already beaten the defender. Once he beats him again, this is a good move and he finishes it brilliantly. Lesotho score their second goal. Oh man, this kid is good. He's got the beating of a defender. He's got the skill that you need when you're a striker, and he's got the confidence that's been lacking.
Goal for Lesotho.
Goal for
Jersey number 10,
Ritabile. Ritabile Nkoko. Oh, again he leaves him in his wake, and Ritabile Nkoko brings some life to the pride of the Mountain Kingdom. Thing of just 2008. So the tough thing about that then is that the kids won't be able to play the tournament again next year. As we see Chisale, oh, beautiful Chisale. Beautiful, it's not Chisale, rather it's Lumbe. Yo, that was good. Beaten the players and then beats the goalie also. Good work to send the goalie on that other side box. Welcome back to the second half here at the UJ Soweto Stadium. Change for Lesotho. Going off is Lesile Makwai. Coming on is jersey 18. My left here says Babatso Mutati of Bota Bote Warriors. Scored two. He's played 163 minutes so far and played 2 games as the man that makes his appearance now off the bench. So Group A is really starting to come to life now. The Lesotho ladies have finished their game on the other side. They lost to Mozambique, unfortunately, but they've come all the way to this A field and they're making all the noise now. So if you hear any singing, any choir-like melodies, it's them and they're motivating their team. I'm told by my colleague Reinhard Kuhn, who's commentating the games out at the UJ AW Muller Stadium, that game is still scoreless between Mozambique and Angola. Per my co-commentator's analysis, he says that it looks and feels a bit like the teams are playing for a draw. Lots of free kicks, lots of corners there, and that's where all the noise is coming from. But that doesn't look like Lesotho, that looks like Malawi. The young Red Flames are in the building. Lesotho are still warming down, I think. So it's the team that need to score, as a matter of fact. Malawi need a goal. They need lots of goals. Because if, like Reinhard says, the game there, they're playing for a draw, and Malawi have something to play for real. They know that that game is goalless at the moment too. Zip, zip. Malawi really in this tournament, they've been a team in the second half that's really where they start to come to life. But to win this one, they're going to need firstly 2 goals and a little bit more if they want to compete goal difference wise, because how it works, qualification, it's first head-to-head and then goal difference. So I'll give you the permutations as we go along and as we know what the score that's on the other side of Johannesburg is. But for now, our focus is here in Soweto, Pimville, where Lesotho are causing the upset. For Malawi, upset is perhaps an overstatement, because these teams are both playing for pride, for the love of the game. And Malawi don't really know whether they'll qualify. For them, it's just about playing and winning. And then you hope and see as to whether it suffices. I think their ladies team might be able to qualify for their under-17 semi-finals. That section wraps up tomorrow also, the group stage, that is. Madula lets that one go, but there's a Lesotho man that's lurking. Tuto. Cool, calm and collected is Lekanya Kolache. Moletti. So for Lesotho, if you look at their past 5 campaigns, they've not been able to make it out of the group, and this year doesn't look like it's going to be any different. Last year they didn't enter the competition. Well, not last year, rather 2022 they didn't enter the competition. Last year there was no under-17 qualifiers. In 2021 it was a group stage exit. 2020 they didn't enter. Back in 18 and 19 also followed a similar trajectory. All in all, they've been here 8 times. So far I've got the average amount of goals for you. It's increased slightly since yesterday. Yesterday we were on 3.25 goals per game. Today, after yesterday's proceedings and festivities, 3.3 games a game, which is a good return. And then 40 goals in total in this year's competition. Slightly less than last year's tally. They were averaging almost 5 a game last year, but I foresee that number. I can only say it's slimming down once you get to the knockout stages and semi-finals. Not many goals are scored in those games, but I've seen over the years there's been a few semi-finals that have produced a couple. I remember back 2016, it must have been further back when Angola played against Namibia. Beat them 7-0 in a semi-final. Hassan Madula to the box. Nantunga, volley from Chisale. Foul by Chisale on the Lesotho captain, Manama Hlojeng. It's optimistic play by the Malawans. Gets to the box, Nantunga. And the captain puts his body on the line there. Like a true soldier. Like a true leader in trench warfare. Puts himself before the team. Puts the team before himself, rather, I meant to say. In 2001, Lesotho played just one match after one of their opponents, Mozambique, who were disqualified for fielding 10 overage players. And a 3-0 loss to Zambia meant another group stage exit for the boys from the Mountain Kingdom. That one's dispossessed by Mnyoto. Nantunga. Madula hits a hand. The Malawans want something. The entire bench has hands in the air. The referee was in a good position to evaluate it, but it looked like it had struck perhaps a hand. My director says nope, no handball. Turn. Lumbe. Oh, too much on that for Nantunga. So, what is their crazy plot twist in this year's competition? The COSAFA u17 qualifiers often have one or two plot twists up their sleeve. And today could be a day that's filled with drama as we conclude Group A. So the teams essentially that lose by today and know that they're going home, they'll be in buses / flights back to their homelands tomorrow after a good experience. For me, the real victory is a team coming here, fielding out a team and really participating. It's great, of course, to make it to the Cup of Nations, but for the ones that have come and played, sometimes the reward is in the lessons and the competitiveness, the friends and the memories that you make in playing in a competition like this. Speak to Kane Clates, South African player. Oh me, what a goal from Oko again. And he puts Lesotho further into the lead and Malawi further and further away from the Ivory Coast. Wants to send them packing back home. Oh, this kid has finally found his form. Has Ritabile Nkoko with a brilliant header there. Inviting delivery. Contact is sufficient enough. Takes a touch, kisses that upright. Look at it. Mba. And then inside. 3-1. Lesotho. And no one saw this one coming. Perhaps this itself is the plot twist. Perhaps this is the crazy subplot that I was speaking about. And suddenly, the cheering of the Malawian ladies slightly dwindles. Now the job becomes a tad bit harder. They're playing like true goats from the Mountain Kingdom, are Lesotho. But cleared away by Ramalitse. Away of Chinoka. This is exactly what Sidwell, the head coach of Lesotho, wanted. And this is the victory that they'll take. Lesotho take it back home, take it with a smile, because they've played football today that they've been meaning to play in the past 3 days. Sometimes it's time for a team to really start gelling and find form, especially when you haven't been in camp for long with one another. How they say they've been operating in the Lesotho camp is that they were looking at the players in the various schools tournaments, camp for 2 or 3 days, and then meeting again the next month. Still trying to find their voices, the Red Flames. So that's how they say they've been prepping for this, Lesotho. Go to camp for 2-3 days, then disperse, go back to their own little habitations, and then back to camp for 2-3 days the next month. So not really playing with one another for long. That does have the impact of team synergy and cohesion, which is important once you play in an African competition such as this. You need to know one another well, and they're starting to really understand their team dynamics on day 3 here. As we see another free kick attempt from far. So this result would mean for the group that Lesotho would finish in 3. If it stays like this, Mali would be the 4th place team. Malawi. Lumbe. Paddling there with Lebohang Ramalitse. Madula gets a touch. That one's out of play. The Malawans have been in camp for some time then together. It just appears that it just hasn't worked out at this year's edition. Nyoto has a touch there on Tuto. Over the top, this looking for replacements for Malawi. This is Lumbe, the danger man. Lumbe tries to cut back, but there's so many green and white shirts there. All you can see is green and white. The captain will win it back for Malawi before it enters their own half. Oh, they're defending by Lesotho. To be fair, they'll feel a little bit hard done by the Malawans, especially considering that first half moment. You've got to play and move on, but you can't deny that they were denied a clear goal, which perhaps changes the nature of the tie completely. That goal that they, if they had allowed it. Tries a little skill, does Morena Masitela. Lesotho returned in 2002 to the competition, and in that year they were able to amass draws against Eswatini 0-0, Botswana 2-2. As we see this shot again, followed by a 4-0 loss to South Africa. It was 22 years ago now. They didn't return to the competition up until 2018, where they exited at the first stage once again. Notably, there they were able to get an excellent 0-0 against South Africa. They followed up that with a loss 1-0 against Zambia and 2-1 against Mozambique. Haven't won all too many games individually. Have the men from the Mountain Kingdom. So like I said, this one, you take it, take the win and take the lessons. Take the win as if you've won the championship. And go and rebuild once again. Like I said, at the moment in Lesotho, they are planning to start a development league in 2025 as an Oko comes through. He's now on a hat-trick. He's going to cut it back for one more player. Good enough defending. Ramalitse also can't get a good enough touch. Lekanya! An hour's worth of football has passed. Hope you're enjoying the watch. I'm sure everyone in the mountains of Lesotho is jubilating. As Chisale chases this one down, it's kept well by the man in your picture there, Sotso Lipiane. Lumbe for Nantunga, cleared away by Ramalitse. The danger in gambling for a 1-1 or a draw is that sometimes that's what you envision, and that's not how it works out in reality. Recall the fixture yesterday. It saw Zimbabwe lose by 5-1 against the Zambians. That game, I mean, the scoreline suggests that it was one-way traffic. But in truth, where Zambia really dominated, I mean, they held the ball well, there was good possession. But the last 10 minutes of the game is when 4 goals came in. So that's the danger in bargaining for a draw. The other danger is that you don't know what other groups and teams are going like. As we see a ball threaded through, it's dealt with well again. This kid's defended well today, Lipiane. He's done his job so nobly. I say that because the game at AEW Mulan is currently a draw, with the hopes that perhaps the second best placed team can come from this group. But Zimbabwe have 3 and they're still to play Namibia tomorrow, and should they win, then they have 6, and that already flies out the door. That best second place narrative in this group. So you've got to really throw the kitchen sink at it. No, it's a decent ball. It's going to go over the top and it's going to get to the other side where Morena is. Morena Mashitela being watched and welcomed by Alpha Nzema. They're also planning on fully incorporating the FIFA TDS program Lesotho next year. What the FIFA TDS program is, it really falls as a microcosm of what's being done here. It's called talent development schemes, and that's where many of these national teams are in fact selected. Lesotho, I'm told, have a good under 15 TDS program. Geez, Lipiane has played well. I'm told they have a steady TDS program, looking to solidify it more in 2025. The South African Talent Development Scheme took place September now, where then the 15 national team was selected. There's these TDS programs, talent development schemes. It's actually an initiative that comes all the way from the top, from FIFA in Switzerland. As we see an attack here. So there's actually TDS programs that should be taking place all over the world. And the purpose of them is to identify talent in the most remote areas of every single country, to get to the pockets and places where people don't want to scout. Many selection processes are congested to the city centers. Some complaints via the South African team being entirely selected from Jozi. So the Zimbabweans yesterday with some complaints via the players only being selected from Harare as Hassan. Not quite from the corner that he would have envisioned there. No, he's running onto that one very decently. Mugongo now opening up for Malawi. No one's in the box to take that. Oh, this kid's on a hat trick now, really increasing that goal tally of his. There's also always lots of opportunities for tournaments like this being watched all over the continent and the globe. Means that there's inevitably going to be scouting opportunities. One of the most viewed youth tournaments is the Under-17 COSAFA Championship. So forget about having fun and developing. There's also real chances available for these kids apart from qualification to the Cup of Nations. As we see Nantunga! Hands to head. He thought he could have done better there. It's a good save by the goalkeeper. Muleli didn't play the last game, Muleli, against Mozambique. Had to watch on from the bench. In fact, he played both games, Muleli. It appeared as if Ritabile Hatasi was the 16, but yes, Muleli has played 180 out of 180 minutes so far. Comfortable on his feet. It helps to have a goalie that's good and knows how to play the ball. Modern goalkeeper coaches put a big emphasis on offering an extra man in the build-up. This kid's got it. Enjoyed watching Sianda Zimba of Zimbabwe too. He also is another one of those goalkeepers that's got the ability. But this is what the Lesotho coach would have wanted then. All he says was the purpose of coming to this tournament was to get more exposure for the kids. Firstly, exposure to selectors and scouts, like I've mentioned. And secondly, exposure for the players to football on an African front. And I chatted to the Namibian coach, Gerald Kuta. He said after his side lost 8-0 to Zambia, he said, boys, welcome to Africa. Here's a potential counter-attack. Moko's moving. Morena's not able to find him. Cesare carries on, optimistic to retrieve that ball. Now Nantunga Chikondi. Takes it on the bye, does Lumbe. It's an inviting ball. And Dunga can't get a touch. And it's going to fizzle out to be Lesotho ball. Stayed down has Lipiane for Lesotho. Wonder why, perhaps some cramping. He didn't suffer any injury. This was the chance. Last water break then of match 13 of 20. We are 65% done with the program. Sunny African conditions. Just how we like it for these championships. Yes, the Lesotho coach was full of praise for coaches such as Vela Kumalo for the technical work that they've done on the players. Not technical work only. In fact, if you want to really take it back to where the technical ability of some of the best Southern African countries comes from, it's from the academy spaces, where your youngsters such as Maraletse play for teams such as Sundowns. For Angola, your players are playing for Petros Luanda, and for Malawi, quietened down, although there's still one vuvuzela blowing. So yes, I think it's an exciting time to watch out for development football in Lesotho from 2025 onwards, when they've established those club academy structures. It's going to take time. It won't just be a day's work. Can't wave a magic wand and suddenly there's development football all over. It's a process that takes time. For instance, the Development League in South Africa dates back to 2011. Similarly to those in Zambia, Angola, Zimbabwe. Up north then, it's exponential development then. The northern countries sometimes have the benefits of their previous colonizers. I think of Morocco in particular. They have a good relationship with Spain, so sometimes that helps in terms of the inject of talent to play in Spain. The players like Yamin Lamal, his descent is in Morocco. Oh, Lambe with the spy two there. Shibobu. Mogongo. Can there be a moment? They're asking for another handball. The referee looks away again. And this time I'm interested to see the replay, because it's been twice. There's been two of those where Malawi feel that they should have been given something. Or Mogongo feeling up for it. He's really jamming now. Mogongo going for the bye. Mogongo just overruns it. Good shepherding by Lipiane. I've been impressed with him, Lipiane, today. Really played like a warrior, the man of Hunters FC. Two players from Hunters FC in Lesotho in the team, Lipiane and Ramalitse. This jersey 11 takes a slightly heavy touch for Lesotho, does Manamela. Oof, he struck that player right into his own opposition, well, into his own player's face. That looked uncomfortable. He tried to clear it and then inadvertently gives him a blow on the face. quarter of an hour now to go. Just over that means that time is slowly running out for Malawi. That proper record of theirs is in jeopardy. They haven't won this competition before yet. Have Malawi, their best place is third in bronze, and they've got that a few times. The past 2 times they've yielded bronze medals for the Malawans. Losing to South Africa and Zambia in semi-finals. But they've always made it out of the group. That's been something they've always been able to do. Babatso Mutati came on as a replacement, and I hope he'll be able to carry on. Those can be quite painful. As we see some of the youngsters that one day they see themselves playing in a showpiece like this. A showpiece, the COSAFA u17 Championship, is really about the future. The future on the pitch, the future watching those playing. And when you speak to players like Dane Clayt that played back in the day, 2001. Fond memories of playing in this championship. Lumbe looks for Nandunga. Cut out by the defense of Lesotho. Chikondi, he's got some time and space. Chikondi who looks for a handball again, and this time they get it. This time the referee puts it to the spot. Third time lucky, third time's the charm for Malawi. The game's not done just yet, and Silipiane, that I think is the guilty party. He's saying, Kenna ref, Kenna, hey, akewena. That's what the referee says to Lipiane. So, perhaps this saves Malawi's campaign. They'll have lots of work to do, the Red Flames, the young Flames. But this could reignite that flame. It's somewhat, not only charcoal. Goalkeeper Moleti up against Yusuf Nandunga. Nandunga hasn't scored yet at the competition after playing 180 minutes. Someone's gone down from a Lesotho perspective. Looks like it's Lechesa Makupane. He's going to need the stretcher in the meanwhile. Perhaps a little bit of mind games to play with Nandunga's head. Lechesa Makupane. Young man that plays for Mokotlong LMPS. Youngster, he's only 15 years old. In fact, he only turned 15 a couple of days ago now, on the 30th of November. So he was 14 for large parts of the year, still developing, and perhaps I think it's those legs that are starting to cramp, and I see they grabbing that groin area of his out of picture. But Nandunga up against Moleti. Referee makes sure that players are all behind the line. Nandunga scores. Malawi are still in the fight. But time is running out. They have less than a dozen minutes to go, less than 12. And Yusufu Nandunga gets his first goal of the COSAFA Championship. It comes from 12 yards out. They all count the same. How much will that bad call in the first half come to haunt Malawi? There's 10 minutes to go. And this is the championship time in a game, where you need to focus, you need to keep your wits about you, keep composed, and play the game. Live the moment, relish the moment. be immersed within it. That's what Malawi will look to do. That's what Lesotho will look to do. Perhaps the last 10 minutes for both these teams in their campaign. Perhaps there's another roll of the dice for Malawi. Let's see. This number 11 looks silky. Skosana Manatamela. Jeez, but he looks small. He's winding here. Nantunga. Tuto marking. Nantunga tries to cross, can't cross. Lumbe tries to play in Chisale in the back. The goalkeeper is going to take his time. We'll check on the score for you in the other game where Mozambique are playing Angola to let you know how and where. And I can confirm that Angola are leading by a goal to 0 up against Mozambique. So that result definitely now changes the fray of this group. It would mean that Angola are on 7, Mozambique still on 4 points. So let me add fuel to the fire. That's Malawian fire. The fuel to the fire is that if Malawi win the game, they finish second, and then they have to wait and see whether they can qualify. I don't know if the boys on the pitch know that, but it's theirs for the taking now, with Mozambique still on 4, but they've got to find 2 goals within them. So to deal with it now, it comes to Mofat Mnyoto. Oh, that's not going to do it from jersey 7 there on that far side. 2 changes from the men from the Mountain Kingdom. And so it's Mohale from Masowe City Stars to come on. And Batala, Kananelo Batala, jersey 19 of Linoto, to come on. Now these players, Mohale played 46 minutes, and for Kananelo Batala, it's his first appearance at the Under-17 Championship. Unlike the coaches, you've got to give the youngsters some game time. Whether you're winning, whether you're losing, this is development football. And so all the kids need to come to South Africa and need to play. And that's what Sidwell Motea has gone with. Lumbe twists and turns, and then is stopped by Kananelo. His first movement in the championship is going to give him a yellow card. He hasn't even touched the ball, but he's received a booking. I won't say Lesotho have come here as disruptors, but rather they've come here chasing their own growth and ambition. And in the midst of that, they've put out the flame of Malawi. Kananelo Batala, yellow card after 2 minutes only playing in South Africa. So set piece by the captain, Mofat Mnyoto. Decision time for him. I think it would be a little bit, perhaps a little bit too far to go for the goal himself. It's man marking in the box, and he's going to go for Nantunga. Something from the ground. Now to the far stick. It's going to be a corner for Malawi. Time moves, half a dozen minutes now to go in this 5-goal thriller to draw a curtain to Group A. Angola moments away from confirming them as the first team in the semi-final this year. Short again. Now the ding inside. Lesotho are on the ropes now. And they're just absorbing the blows by Malawi, taking them in. Blow after blow after blow after blow and not succumbing. Lumbe can't get it through, follows up Lumbe, yeah, yes, Lumbe, crosses, Nantunga can't find the target, he can't hit it at all. Here's Hassan Madula, wants to cross, Lipane stayed down. Referee's gonna go check on Lipane. The last time that Malawi were not able to make the group, you'd have to look back at 2017. The COSAFA Championships held in Mauritius. It was 7 years ago. Maybe headed home here today after this one. If they lose, they're going home. It's simple as that, and they know it. That's why the ladies are now singing louder than ever. Perhaps a little bit of time wasting now coming through from a Lesotho perspective. Morena rolls on the ground and takes his time. I've mentioned in the other game at AW Muller, Angola leading against Mozambique. Mozambique on 4 points, Angola on 7. With this game sitting as it is, Lesotho on 3, Malawi on 2 at the bottom of the group. They still have the fire, the desire, and the hope that the road to Ivory Coast could still be there, but the margins narrow by every ticking second on that clock. The chances become slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. Madula to Nantunga. Nantunga saved by Moletti. He's going to take a tad few seconds before he gets up. Botawong Moletti. This would be really a big, big victory for Lesotho against a team, like I said, historically that's not only dominated against them in the head-to-head, but it's also dominated in these COSAFA regions. Lumbe cuts inside, time and space for James Lumbe. Half ground now at the moment. All the action happening in the Lesotho half. Oko wins it back now, perhaps the counter drive. Ananelo, first real touch, and he's dispossessed by Alpanzema. Cananelo beats a couple of players. He's going to win a corner up the field for Lesotho. A Lesotho goal now buries Malawi and sends them packing back home. Let's see, this end to the game is definitely going to be something somewhat special. Hands in the air. It's going to fall once again here for the Lesotho man who's come from an offside position. Malawi ball. So we return with under-17 COSAFA Championship action tomorrow here at UJ Soweto. We will have Namibia take on Zimbabwe, and Botswana taking on the Comoros.
Additional time,
5 additional minutes for Malawi to save their campaign. This is Clifford Chisale. Corner for the Malawans. This is what you love, though, about youth sports. Youngsters, 16, 15, 14-year-olds even, playing their all for their country, giving everything, the weight of expectation. And these youngsters have shouldered the responsibility with some class. Lesotho planning their last changes. The last change, the last throw of the dice. And the first minutes for Masupa Sitse. Free kick on jersey 6. Kalanje. So it's going to be Morena that's going to be taken off, and to replace him for the first time in this competition, Masupa Sitsa of Kick for Life FC. He plays alongside players like Manana Hlojeng and Tuto Ketsi back in his home club. He gets his first minutes of the COSAFA champs, and he's adding a reinforcement right in the back. It's clearly intention now by Lesotho to just take the 3 points, take the win and go back home. Three minutes left. Like I said, we return here to the UJ Stadium tomorrow, where in fact we will start with a ladies' game then here at 9 a.m. between South Africa and Madagascar, Abantwana and Madagascar. And then, like I said, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Botswana, Comoros. Still lots and lots to play for in this competition. Nandunga. Oof, James Lumbe gets a shoulder or something off on the Lesotho player there. That's a foul, and perhaps that sums up the afternoon and the tournament for Malawi. One more change for Inosh Chadama. Chikonda Hoa came on as a sub. He comes off. Vincent Thompson makes his way on from Zampira Academy to get his first minutes. Like I said, there's also a development aspect to it, so you want to give youngsters fair game time. Koko Ritzabile, I'm told he's the man of the match for this game, the youngster in your picture. Now that will be an award he will hang high on his trophy cabinet at home. Show it to his boys and say, I played, I conquered. Malawi. So development coaches often say one thing, that we weren't there to spoil the party, we were there to play a game of football, which is what the Lesotho coach will probably say in the halftime talk, that finally for me, the victories that my team was able to get together for Malawi Like I said, you have to go back to almost 2016 to where they play a tournament and don't win a game. They've drawn twice. And this might be a loss. Nantunga and Chisale can't get there. 5 minutes up on my clock, and the referee agrees it's all over. Lesotho win for the first time in this year's Under-17 COSAFA Championships at the expense of the Young Flames of Malawi. They go home as the last place team in the group, and Lesotho show that development is a continuous process. You develop daily, game by game, and this Lesotho side have developed game by game. For Malawi, back to the drawing board. I'm sure they'll be back hungrier next year. It's a brilliant display. It's a good watch of development football. And at the end of the 90 minutes, it's Lesotho that pick up the three-pointer. 3, Lesotho 2, Malawi at full time. Sidwa Motea's men right on the chalk of that box. We'll have some bit of deja vu from his that he scored at the A.W. Muller Stadium. Gets in! Yeah! It's creeped in! What a beautiful free kick! It's free kick number 3! It's free kick extravaganza here at the UJ Soweto Stadium. And Tuto Getsi, well, he knows how to take a dead ball. And these guys are 16, 15, 14 years old. They'll play in that first Capital Bank League. Some of them maybe next year and in years to come. Here's Clifford Chisale. It's the bar, doesn't go in. Referee takes the linesman and they say no. Okay, so this is the one that I've been crying to see. Look at it. Slow it down and look at the ball. Look at the ball. Ooh. Yep, it's a development football, but that's a goal. Alfanzema. Nantunga. That's good work to dispossess. Here comes Ritabile. Ritabile has already beaten the defender. Once he beats him again, this is a good move and he finishes it brilliantly. Lesotho score their second goal. Oh man, this kid is good. He's got the beating of a defender. He's got the skill that you need when you're a striker. And he's got the confidence that's been lacking.
Goal for Lesotho.
Goal for
Jersey number 10,
Ritabile.
Ritabile.
Ritabile Nkoko. Oh,
0.
again he leaves him
True.
in his wake, and Ritabile Nkoko brings some life to the pride of the Mountain Kingdom. Thing of just 2008. So the tough thing about that then is that the kids won't be able to play the tournament again next year. As we see Chisale, oh, beautiful Chisale. Beautiful, it's not Chisale, rather it's Lumbe. Yo, that was good. He's beaten the players and then beats the goalie also. Good work to send the goalie on that other side box. For me, the real victory is a team coming here, fielding out a team and really participating. It's great, of course, to make it to the Cup of Nations, but for the ones that have come and played, sometimes the reward is in the lessons and the competitiveness, the friends and the memories that you make in playing in a competition like this. Speak to Kane Clates, South African player. Oh, me, what a goal from Nkoko again. And he puts Lesotho further into the lead, and Malawi further and further away from the Ivory Coast. A brilliant header there. Inviting delivery. Contact is sufficient enough. Takes a touch, kisses that upright. Look at it. Mba. And then inside. 3-1. Lesotho. And no one saw this one coming. Lumbe looks for Nandunga. Cut out by the defense of Lesotho. Chikondi, he's got some time and space. Chikondi who looks for a handball again, and this time they get it. This time the referee puts it to the spot. Nandunga scores. Malawi are still in the fight. But time is running out. They have less than a dozen minutes to go, less than 12.